My friends, you know I love Mandela effects unless you've never seen one of my videos, in which case, hello, welcome to Not Famous, where sometimes I talk about Mandela effects. Now, the Pillsbury Dough Mandela effect is not necessarily a new one. You've probably heard of it, but it's one of those Mandela effects that just like, I think about it, I'm like, this doesn't add up. This one is real. You know, at least for myself and for many, many, many other people, which is exactly what the Mandela effect is. A bunch of us, not just one or two of us, but a lot of people remembering something differently than what the reality is. And the reality is that the Pillsbury Doughboy has like a white tie. And most of us believe that he had a blue tie. We have very fond memories of him having a blue tie. But you can look at commercials, you can go look on all these products, and he's never had that apparently. Yet, we have seen evidence that maybe other people remember this. There's a Family Guy clip in which they show imitation Pillsbury Doughboy with this blue tie. And that's the image that a lot of us have in our minds. And this is a one, just kind of like the Fruit of the Loom or the Tinkerbell Disney intro one, that I'm just like, I definitely remember this being different than what reality is. Let me know, do you think that the Pillsbury Doughboy had a blue tie or a white tie? And are you one of those weird people, that small group, that remember him having a red tie? Anyways, my friends, it's just another one that blows my mind. While you can say whatever you want about the Mandela effect itself, once in a while there are some very interesting ones that just don't add up and really make you think, my friends.
Mrs. Abruzzo, I'm Ed McMahon, and we're signing up people for...
Yes,
yes, I am. Yeah.
My friends, I gotta hit you with some truth. The entertainer Ed McMahon never worked for Publishers Clearinghouse. He never showed up at the doorsteps of people handing them out these big checks. He was never in any of these commercials. This is a false memory experienced by myself and many other people, and as you know, it is a Mandela effect.
Mr. Murphy, Ed McMahon, we're starting up... No.
Dreams really do come true.
Now, clips of that commercial show people generally being excited for Ed McMahon to show up at their door, and although he's offering some complete other product, they're excited in this sense like they're about to have their lives changed and like they're gonna win something big. Now, why would that be? When in fact, Ed McMahon never handed out checks and never was associated with Publishers Clearinghouse, never had his face printed on the envelopes, as so many people remember. And those envelopes are a big one too, my friends. A lot of people think they remember seeing like a drawing of Ed McMahon, like an outline of him on these envelopes for Publishers Clearinghouse, when in fact that never actually happened. Do you remember seeing one of these envelopes? A lot of people talk about a commercial from 1994 where McMahon actually shows up and hands a woman a check, actually presents it to her. However, many people have gone out on the internet and searched for that video and they cannot find it. They don't seem to believe that it exists after looking for it. There's also a clip from the Golden Girls. There's a clip, you'll see Betty White, you'll see they're getting all excited. They get a phone call like they won something, and then they talk about Ed McMahon as if culture made these references in multiple places that he was the guy that would bring you these big checks and let you know that you won all this money. Check it out.
What? I'm one of the winners of the Publishers Clearinghouse? Ed McMahon wants to see me right away?
And that's only one thing. There was references that are found in Roseanne, Who's the Boss, Boy Meets World, and other shows and such forth from the time and the era in which people mention Ed McMahon as if he was the guy who brought these checks and gave you these big prizes, but he just never was. Now, my friends, there are some Mandela effects that aren't that believable and are just a little bit weird. And then there's those really creepy ones, like the Fruit of the Loom one and the Tinkerbell one. Those two really trip me out. And I just found out about this one, although it's like an OG Mandela effect. It's been around for a couple of years, but it just smacked me. And I don't know why it smacked me out of nowhere, why I finally heard about it. Maybe something changed in our reality or somewhere else. But I swear, Ed McMahon brought those checks for Publishers Clearinghouse. He brought you that noise. He would knock on your door and tell you that you were going to receive $10,000 every week for the rest of your life because you bought into their great pyramid scam. And the fact is, that never happened, and he was not involved with them in any way. Friends, I'm always on the search for new Mandela effects that are awesome. Some of them don't really make a whole lot of sense, and then there's those ones that blow your mind, like this one, the Tinkerbell Mandela Effect. Have you heard of this one? Just remember back to your childhood for a minute, my friends. Do you remember at the beginning of the old Disney movies, like on the VHS tapes, there would be like the Disney castle, and then Tinkerbell, the fairy from Peter and the Pan, she would come up out of nowhere and fly around with her little wand and then tap the top of the castle. Well, guess what, my friends? That it didn't exist. What? I remember that one so clearly. In fact, I not only remember that, I remember there was like one movie where it was like kind of like funny because like she tried to tap it and her wand didn't work or something like that. I remember this very clearly. Now, at some point, the Disney movies stopped doing this, and I thought it was weird that they quit having Tinkerbell at the beginning of their movies. I'm like, oh, they stopped doing that. I vaguely remember thinking that years ago. And many other people also remember Tinkerbell at the beginning of Disney movies, but she never was. It never happened, my friends. Hello, my friend. It's really good to talk to you, of course, like always. Now, take a look at these two logos for the Fruit of the Loom brand and Undergarment brand, and ask yourself, just make a mental note really quick of which logo do you believe is the real logo? Which one do you recognize and have seen throughout your life? You see, the Fruit of the Loom logo is a recent example of the Mandela Effect, which I'm sure that you know about, but for anyone here that may not have heard of the Mandela Effect, it is named after Nelson Mandela, a revolutionary political leader, a man who many believed had passed on many years ago, and were shocked to discover when he actually did pass on that he was still alive all of that time. The effect has many other examples, such as the Berenstain Bears, and of course, a number of other examples that pop up all the time. The effect describes when people remember something differently than what happened in reality. And usually when a lot of people remember something, it's a little bit odd. I mean, if I remember a little detail about something, such as this channel be called Not Famous, but don't remember that it was actually called Still Not Famous, that's not a big deal. But if a lot of people remember something differently, it makes you question whether something in reality itself has changed. So stepping back to the Fruit of the Loom logo, which one is correct, which one is inaccurate? What did you think? The actual one is the regular fruit without the item back behind it, which is called a cornucopia. Strange. Now that's odd though, my friends, because I remember that logo with that cornucopia. So does my brother Kip. We both remember that logo. We were both born in the 80s. Now I asked my wife and a few other people who were born later on in the 90s, and I imagine some even newer, and they generally remember the logo being just the fruit. They don't remember the cornucopia on there. However, as you go back in time, more and more people remember it with that. However, it never existed. It never existed, my friends. It is so strange because I could swear that that logo had that cornucopia behind it. But you can look back and that never happened. It never existed. Maybe it was a part of a parallel universe. Maybe it's something strange going on with my mind and that of many others. Man, all these Mandela effects, they make me want to drink. When I was younger, I drank a lot of Hpnotiq. Hpnotiq. H-Y-P. Where's the Y? Where's the Y? Why? Where's the Y? H-Y-P. No. They didn't change Hpnotiq. Look at that. You're telling me no. No more of this. I'm done with Mandela effects. I swear them off forever. You can't take Hpnotiq from me. That doesn't work, Mandela effect. Look, I love Mandela effects. Some of them blow my mind, like the Fruit of the Loom logo, Ed McMahon never delivering checks for Publishers Clearinghouse. Those are crazy. But you can't tell me that double stuffed Oreos were never double stuffed Oreos, or that the stuff was only spelled with one F and not two Fs, as was intended by the good English language. Now, I thought that this double stuffed Oreo Mandela effect was a pretty common and old Mandela effect that most everybody had heard of. And yet all of a sudden, suddenly, a lot of people are coming forward and talking about it, saying that this is the first they've ever heard about it. And they're shocked to see that double stuffed Oreos are called double stuff Oreos, S-T-U-F. So why is that, my friends? How come this is all of a sudden being discovered by so many people? Well, somebody better tell the Vandalord and alert the council. But, as you may or may not have heard, CERN recently reactivated their reactors, their particle colliders. So I'm not saying we're living in a different dimension or anything like that, but check this out. All of a sudden, you've got this old Mandela effect from years ago that many people have heard about, that all of a sudden, all these people are hearing about for the first time. Why did they turn this CERN back on? This is why we have the back rooms. This is how these crazy dark things get all created. This is why the SCP exists in the first place, my friends. Be very concerned. Anyways, I don't really recall one way or the other if it was double stuffed Oreos myself or if it was double stuffed. I always actually thought it was double stuffed, but I don't know for sure. Look, my friends, if you grew up in the 90s or the early 2000s, you couldn't help but to have witnessed Brittney Spears' rise to stardom, and of course some of the chaos that came afterwards. At the time, one of her biggest music videos was for the song Oops, I Did It Again. That music video was everywhere, and it's famous for the iconic red latex jumpsuit that she wore, and also, as I and many other people remember it, Brittney wore a large headset in the music video. Now, like any good Mandela effect, our current reality no longer matches our collective memories. Watch the music video today, and you'll find that the headset is gone altogether. This is strange because so many people recall her wearing it in the music video, not only in live performances, but the actual music video itself. Are we all just misremembering what happened? What really happened when the video came out? In fact, there are plenty of Halloween images of people dressing up as her and wearing the headset and other references in culture. Even the official doll that came out for the video included a headset. So what is going on here exactly? Why do we see older references to there being a headset in the video throughout our culture and so many people swearing that they remember her wearing it when it seems to have never been a thing? We even see at the 2-minute and 43-second point in the music video, Brittney seems to be adjusting the now invisible or missing headset, which feels like some kind of glitch in the Matrix. And the headset made sense in the video's story, which takes place on Mars, where Brittney is communicating with it in a control room to an astronaut through speakers that the headset is connected to. Anyways, just like the Ed McMahon Fruit of the Loom and Disney Tinkerbell intro Mandela effects, this one just kind of messes with my mind. What about you? Do you remember Brittney Spears wearing a headset in the Oops, I Did It Again video? Thank you guys for watching, and also check out this video up here. I think you'll like it, and I hope you guys have a great day. As always, adios amigos.